So we've got a problem at my grocery freezer, Alice. As you know, wrong fader. Wrong fader. That reminds me of actually, I used to be a hotel concierge, and a dude named Young worked with us. He's an Asian kid named Young. He was young. He was older than us, and he was in his 30s. But anyway, he had a voice like this, and he had a little bit of a lisp. So Young one time, Young was giping money from his bank. He got busted. Actually, he asked me for $1,000. Tom, do you have $1,000 offhand, real quick? As people are coming up to count the banks. I've been in that position. As a matter of fact, the person counting his bank lent me $800.
I've never been in that position.
I know. Well, it was an STL. It was a short-term loan. Well, because you had to. Yeah, I was moving a lot of money around in those days. Anyway, Young's like...
I've never been in that position.
I said, Young, he said, I used to pick locks for a living back in California. And I said, really, Young, can you pick these, the lock that my drawer's in, that my money's in? He says, I can if you want me to, but I don't know that you want me to. I'm like, Young, go ahead, Young, pick a lock. So Young grabs a paperclip. So I know how I know that this is going to be foolproof. He grabs a paper clip, and he's like in there, and he's feeling around. He said, and the best line ever that I've ever heard anybody say, he said, I don't understand. I'm right on top of the tumblers.
What?
Yep. I immediately took that information over to the bellman, my friend Dan McKenna, and said, you know, Young back there, he was trying to pick my lock in my drawer, and it wasn't working, and he was perplexed because he said, I don't understand. I'm right on top of the tumblers. He was right on top of the tumblers, Alice.
Type. You go typing the episode title.
Well, the funny, I am. But it's so perfect, too, because, like, he was, like, just full of it. He was full of it. Just like, absolute full of bleep. He's a good enough guy. He did get unceremoniously whacked. So did good half of
Sounds like a real loss to the team.
He was right on top of the tumblers. But we liked Young. Because he had this overgrown. He had a wife named Mare, and he was always to say, I was out there at the hilltop state, or
named Mare.
Mare. Like it might have been a version of Mary, but it was just Mare.
Okay.
Yeah, she's an American girl. And he would say, like, Mare and I were at the Capitol Grill, my wife Mare. And he would always let you know, like, that is my wife Mare and I went over to the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum with my wife Mare. He just was one of these guys. It was a character. I miss Young. I miss him. He got fired like a bastard.
Wow.
That's a tough one.
Was it because of stealing from the bank?
Yeah, stealing. You got to have people on the inside, Young. Come on. And I don't think they like the cut of his jib either. Because he was like one of these guys who was... I talked with a lot of these guys. Who? How old is that person?
Not that young.
Oh, really?
Peter's in James's room.
Okay. Okay.
That was either a 7-year-old or a 10-year-old.
Okay,
He's frustrated. It sounds like a frustrated 10-year-old to me.
Okay, that is not a good sign. That is not a good sign. Who do we have? Who's left in the team here?
James.
James was with the 2-year-old upstairs.
You want me to leave and go?
All right, why don't you leave for a second and go?
Okay.
And I'm going to cue up some audio that has made me very, very happy from earlier today. This is from the Maine Wire, our friend Steve Robinson. And I almost want you to hear this too, but you can go down and just see. And if the guitar is broken, which I assume it is, just tell them it's fine. It's an old guitar. And just imagine we're in this world now. That like this has to be something that's said. This is so good. I'm sorry, guys. I'm super excited about this. because I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Is Maine Wire now doing? Is Steve not doing bits? Is that what this is?" Because the reality of what we're dealing with in this country now, in Maine, America, Maine, which used to be part of America, if you remember, used to be a more sensible part than this part of America, as a matter of fact, but has, as with every place else, has gone sideways. So here is, let me find it. Let me scroll up here. Let me make sure I get the right one. This is amazing. He's on like a news, Media Nation or something, whatever that one of those places is called. Let me just make sure. Hold on. I'm getting ad block plus block cookies messages left and right because why wouldn't I? Okay, there's Alice's Tim Walls is from yesterday. Let me see if I can find the main thing. Olivia Nilsey, we'll get to her. She cried today. She's a terrible human being. Okay. Maybe I tweeted it out. I apologize. Let me find it. I'm glad you're here, Alice. Hold on. I'm still looking for this. I guess maybe I just tweeted it. It's so good. This is a Maine Wire.
I've missed a lot, I can tell.
You've not missed a lot. This is the Maine Wire today. Steve Robinson did a hit on his show. Damn it. How the freak do we... Oh, thanks for the upgrades, Elon, by the way. God, he sucks.
In case you're wondering, there was a countertop climbing incident that resulted in a bumped head, and there's now protein powder all over the kitchen. But other than that,
why would there be a countertop? That sounds like somebody was trying to infiltrate the upper levels of the pantry where the junk food is kept.
No, the upper levels of the shelf where the teacups are.
Why?
I don't know. We'll deal with that after.
Okay. All right. Let me find this Steve Robinson hit. He's talking about the Somalis. This is freaking great, dude. Just listen to these words. You know, you talk about like that. I've put together the title of the episode all together. Listen to this. This is too good. This is Newsmax. Okay, they don't ask me to come on anymore. With Carl Higbee.
Let's introduce you to Somali-American Abdullah Ali, who came to the U.S. from Somalia in 2009. You're looking at, obviously, the man on my right who had discovered this story. He became a U.S. citizen, started a nonprofit to help immigrants, started several businesses, including a multi-million-dollar migrant care service agency. And in 2024, he ran for president as he raised money to bankroll a militia in Somalia. Yes, you heard that right. A U.S. citizen who, according to the Maine Wire, gave an interview with Kenyan media in which he said he raised money in the U.S. to buy weapons, munitions, and supplies for paramilitary force he had hoped to lead as the president of Jubaland. Yes, that is a real state in Somalia. He was running for president in Somalia. Of course, he lost the election. We reached out to the Gateway Community Services in Maine, which Ali founded.
President of Jubaland. Money is being sent from the taxpayers of Maine to Jubaland for
to fund a militia for a presidential candidate, whatever his name is.
You're right.
Did not hear back, ironically enough. The man who broke this report, editor-in-chief of the Maine Wire, Steve Robinson. Dude, this is crazy.
You really can't make this stuff up. I mean, the guy's running a migrant services agency that bills MaineCare, which is what we call Medicaid, about $5 million a year, at the same time that he's running for president. And to be clear,
in Somalia,
that he's running to be the warlord of Jubaland. Elections in Jubaland aren't exactly like elections in America. It's, whoever has the most guns is able to certify the election. So he needed to buy a paramilitary.
What a line that is. Whoever has the most guns is able to certify the election. How freaking perfect. In Jubaland. Somehow, Maine, USA, moose, lobsters, LL Bean is now directly tethered to Jubaland's unsuccessful coup attempt.
Paging all the people who thought that January 6th was a coup attempt and their deep concern about coup attempts, which I assume extends to this anti-democratic coup attempt that they were funding in Maine.
Oh, sure, of course.
I'm sure they're just as concerned about that as about January 6th, right?
Right. I can't imagine a Democrat, like a whack job moonbat Democrat in Maine like how are you choosing sides exactly on this? Is it anything that the Somalis do is good? I assume that some red flags went off when they heard that the place was called Jubaland, just in case the oppressors lived there, which they don't. I can't imagine, but it gets worse than that.
Military organization and paramilitary support in order to win that election, and he lost it. But at the very same time that he was in Jubaland and Kenya trying to become a warlord in southern Somalia, he was getting no-bid contracts from the administration of Governor Janet Mills, a Democrat who has been in cahoots with Gateway Community Services from the very beginning. So if there's one thing that I would implore your listeners to understand, it's in Minnesota and in Maine, it's not just the Somali diaspora that has come up over here and decided to engage in this criminal behavior. It's an industrial complex with the Democratic Party that enables and turns a blind eye to this behavior because they benefit from it through political support. And indeed, Abdullahi Ali's number two, his assistant executive director, is the former mayor of South Portland, Maine, and is currently a state representative from South Portland and a member of the Appropriations Committee. Decca Delac, one of his former employees, Yusuf, is a representative from...
Noticing a pattern here, Alice.
I don't notice things like that.
We're getting all sorts of diversity. Yusuf.
Yeah.
Portland, many Gateway Community Services alums have gone on to become involved in politics, and Governor Janet Mills created the Office of New Americans specifically to cater to the new Americans, new Mainers, illegal aliens, and the only employee of that organization is Alkas Ahmed from Sudan, who is a former employee of Gateway Community Services.
Do Democrats, are they like allergic to making their positions remotely defensible? Because it just seems like there's so many people out here who want to be like, you know what, I'm against illegal immigration, but legal immigration is good, and like diversity is good, and you know, anyone who wants to come here and make a life for themselves should be part of our blah blah blah. You know, there are so many people that want to feel that way. Like, they're like, just give me the frigging, just a little bit. Just make it. It seems like such a defensible position. And then they do stuff like this, and they like they can't stop coming to the trough of taxpayer money to do the most outrageous freaking things. And somehow people keep falling for it. I don't get it. Like, I've never been so radicalized in my life. Like, do they not see what they're doing to their own political positions?
No, they're getting the high. The fix they need right now, and that is a fix of feeling like they're being saviors, that they're being, that, you know, they have houses passed on from their parents who fought in World War II. And I think that they have comfort, and they're saying, okay, my job is to look who's getting bullied and be on their side no matter what. So when a Somali guy murders somebody or whatever, and somebody makes mention that, you know, maybe we should be better at immigration, the Somali guy is the guy being bullied, and so it's all in. It's like it's amazing. Like it's only destructive and terrible and awful and terrible and awful and destructive, but it doesn't matter. It's a suicide pact.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. It's like they're just so addicted to being friggin' wrong about everything. They just can't stop themselves. Even like I saw you tweeted that like Brandon Johnson cut.
Right.
Too. Like, do you guys ever feel a weird reaction about how like all your things work out badly?
Right.
Does anything ever occur to you?
Do you ever feel bad about...
Like, I wish I had more time for this, but you're on a roll. Basically, long story short, is Maine's got a bunch of fraud with people taking money from the government and the taxpayers and then buying rocket launchers, sending them back to run for elections and president of whatever that place is. Jubaland.
And then they're also turning around and getting out the vote for Democrats in places like Lewiston, Maine and Portland, Maine.
Yeah, and when you drive into Maine, there's a big sign that says Maine, the way life should be. Not the way I see it. Steve Robinson, we appreciate it.
Robinson, by the way, has a Jedi level comfort on these hits now. He is the one, like essentially the one in charge. People are coming to him for so much content now here.
It's really incredible, though. Like, I mean, he's obviously brilliant, but he doesn't make these people do this stuff.
Who's brilliant, Steve?
Yeah. Steve's brilliant, but
Don't pile it on too thick.
But my point is that he's not making them do all this stuff. Like, they're creating the content. He doesn't force anybody to go to the Portland City Council meetings and act like freaking lunatics. He doesn't force them to hand out taxpayer money to wannabe warlords and other, scum of the earth. He doesn't make them do this stuff. He just digs a little bit and it's all right there. It's like how you were saying, like, you looked up one Ken Burns quote from the documentary and it's friggin' fabricated. Matt Walsh looked up another quote, it's friggin' fabricated. It's like any time you open the book a little bit, you immediately find everything you thought was in there. It's like clockwork. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. But, it still... there are people who... your friend from Lexington has been tweeting against who wrote Harry Potter?
Oh, J.K. Rowling?
Yeah. Your fat friend from wherever has been tweeting, like, saying, like, don't buy her stuff. These people all loved her.
Right, of course.
They all loved her until you guys invented something new. Which features now grown men screaming if you misgender, which is not a thing. And as a matter of fact, when these grown men are screaming, they're specifically being accurately gendered, but they're screaming, you have to go. It's like, why did you guys decide to just be a psycho petting zoo on the left? Really? That's what it is.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because the J.K. Rowling thing isn't even like, it's even more extreme than they make it out to be. It's not even like she's against trans people, like living as trans people and gendering them correctly and stuff. The stuff that got her on everybody's bad side was specifically because she has been a victim of domestic violence and, like, in women's shelters. She opposed abusive men being allowed to go be in women's shelters, or men who were in prison for, like, raping and murdering women to go be put into women's prison just because they decided one day that they were going to identify as women. Like, that's the issue all along. That was the only thing that she sort of said was, like, this is all well and good. Identify how you want. I'll call you what you want. But, like, this is not what we're doing to women is specifically not okay. And she's a big liberal. So it's funny. Yeah, it's like they only deviated from the tiniest thing that's causing the most absurd policy outcomes possible. It's like if you notice a tiny bit that, like, leftist policies have, like, some bad outcome, like, guys, maybe we're taking this a tiny bit too far, you're immediately, like, in the burn book, like, erase you from the planet, never buy anything this person does ever again, we hate them. Like you say, they loved her, but she's like, you know what, maybe some of the really extreme positions that are really actually dangerous for women and, like, can get people killed, like, we should, mitigate some of that. And they're like, no, we hate you now. Okay, all right. So, but that's why their party is shrinking, is because their policies are like a package deal. You need to, if you sign on to their agenda, now you own all the crazy. It's all on you.
Yep.
You have to have all of it. Like, if you deviate even the tiniest bit.
So can I ask you something? Somebody like Jacob Fry, who is yelling at Trump for targeting Somalis who make our Minnesota so much better, who's improved it so much. He speaks in Somali now mostly, and he does. I sent it to his course.
He's so scared they'll, like, run another Somali person against him.
Yeah, you can't. We can't see it because we're not allowed to. Twitter no longer lets you send messages to each other, Tom and Alice, anymore. So we'll have to get back to emailing each other, I guess. But look, in him speaking Somali and all that stuff, what do you think is it purely cynical in political because he needs the Somali vote and wants them because they all vote because they all want to have the, speaking of tumblers, essentially the deal is that in Minnesota that if the Somalis vote for the right Democrat, then they'll leave their drawer unlocked so that the Somalis can go over there and gype the stuff.
Yeah, isn't that what it is?
So is it cynical? Is it that? Does he believe truly that the Somalis have made Minnesota better? Or does he, like, what is, because we saw it during George Floyd, he took a knee in front of people. Like, this guy has, like, presented in front of people to be, invaded. He is like, he's the worst, like, thing in the world. So, is he mentally ill or is he smart? Because I don't understand, like, what corner of the world, when you allow a bunch of people, mostly black people, to destroy black businesses, burn them down, and then you take a knee in front of them and kiss feet and cry and all that stuff, and while you're doing that, people are throwing bottles at him, plastic bottles, and hitting him in the head as they're marching him around town as their prisoner, as their bitch, which happened. It's like, where is the joy? I don't understand. What exactly is the joy?
Yeah, I don't understand why these people are still in the Democratic Party.
No, where's the joy for Jacob Fry?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, why would he still, like, kowtow to this stuff? Like, why would he still be in this party?
Is it cynical? Is it the little bit of power? Is it that he can purge? Like, all they're doing is making all of these cities worse. That's it. Brandon Johnson, because people in Chicago decided, and mostly obviously the guilt goes to white women of means, decided that Brandon Johnson, we're going to elevate this guy with a tiny piece of hamburger meat for a brain, who dresses like he's a smart guy. He wears smart guy glasses and dresses to the 10s or 9s, or whatever. Who speaks like in these long jingoistic phrases of progressivism. Who's a moron? He's literally a moron. You can't trust him to make a piece of effing toast. You can't trust. So why are we showcasing people from marginalized groups who are the worst examples of the marginalized group?
What do you think jingoistic means? Can I just interrupt briefly?
I don't know. I figured I'd get away with it. Something. I've heard smart people say it before. What does it mean?
It means like nationalistic, kind of in a negative sense.
No,
like,
what I meant was like sloganistic is what sloganeering.
Okay, so you meant like jingleistic.
Oh, there's a difference?
No, I'm making up a word, but I think you're associating it with like a jingle because a jingle's like short like that. But I don't know. That's my guess of why you think it's like sloganeering. I don't know.
Special ed class do you think I belong to? Oh, you hear jingles, Tommy? That's nice. Oh, that's right. That's right, Tommy. Those are jingles. I don't know what it means. Okay, I thought it meant like saying slogans that are whatever. Jingoistic. It sounds like that's what it means.
No, jingoistic means like the Toby Keith song, "We'll Put a Boot in Your Ass." It's the American way. That's a jingoistic song.
I think then it still hits. It still applies.
That's what Brandon Johnson is? He's jingoistic?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Small aside.
No. So anyway.
Sorry that I was a distraction. Just was wondering.
That's okay. But so what's the point of it all? What's the point of it all? And what's the point of these? Like, what? Here's Tim.
I think they just like being elected. I think to them being elected is like a grift.
Okay, and so no matter what, as long as you can get elected, it's fine. So you're going to pretend you're going to go take a plane to South America and have lunch with MI6, M16, whatever
Yeah,
it's
but
called.
because I think they're like, wow, people must think I'm really great. Wow, I keep getting invited to do speaking engagements for big money. I must be smart.
Okay, so that's why Jasmine Crockett is like doing the thing, and
Yeah.
it's like everybody's got a character to play, and they get to do stuff. And like AOC gets to go to the Met and then like eat the rich in her Met Gala gown, while she is absolutely just the rich.
Right.
It doesn't seem like
Like very noble.
No, it doesn't seem like
Mm-hmm.
ethical or something that's moral at all.
It's definitely not.
And so,
it's
but at
also like gross and grasping and pathetic.
well, it is. If you
In the
saw-
same, like Chris Murphy is like gross and grasping and pathetic
Yes.
with his videos that he comes out with now. And
Here's
stuff.
why this is important. What you need to know is this is literally the same way Mussolini did it. This is literally, and that's what this. It's about the pain. The point is the pain. Wow. That's it. But then again, you know what it is? They're just talking to women and beta men who are college educated who feel that if they are more effeminate and less brute, they look across the street and they see that the guys on trees with chainsaws.
Mm-hmm.
Those people didn't go to the cool colleges they went to, so they want to be as far in the spectrum from those people as possible. And so the opposite of the guy with the chainsaw is the college-educated, Harvard-educated person's wife, who's very feminine, who believes in obscure, nuanced causes, jingoistic causes, I call them, and so he'll just act like her. And so
Right.
he's a soft, beta, cucky kind of guy who's definitely not the guy with the chainsaw because he's he's better. It's an exercise in just being better than.
Yeah, it reminds me, who was it? Was it Jimmy Kimmel's wife who was on that show and was saying how like she understood how like people were fooled by Trump because she came from St. Louis where
Right.
she had never met a black person somehow, which makes no sense, but she understood now that she'd been out in the world and like met other people of other races and stuff, so she was smart. I mean, I think they do convince themselves of this stuff to a degree. Don't you think? I mean, like, I have to think that their failing policies is like when people are at a failing company, sort of. And, like, yeah, the people at the top who are just getting paid and, like, have to keep a brave face for the people down the totem pole and say everything's turning around and it's going great. They're like, I think half of them believes it and half of them is just like cynical. You know, I think at some level they do convince themselves some of their stuff. Don't you think so? Especially because it's like a thing where if you can convince enough people around you that they believe in you, you start to believe it too.
Well, I do think, yeah.
Like, wow, I must be smart. Everybody thinks I'm smart.
I do think that there's a direct correlation between social media, obviously, and that we never had people having lawn signs other than something about a candidate ever before like 2010, 12.
They never felt the need to announce to you all the things they believe.
No, never. It was never like this.
There was never a wall of text.
This
lawn
didn't
sign.
exist until you could go out and find segregated groups of people who could give you the reinforcement you wanted. Mm-hmm. Like if it was the year 2000, you didn't know when you walk into a place like who was what and what. You knew that you were in Cambridge, Massachusetts, so you probably it goes. Other than that, you didn't know. So to have a sounding board to lather yourself in reinforcement was much harder to do, and so then it became totally easy to do. So like nice people of Newburyport, nice people of. And by the way, if the Facebook group starts with nice people, if it probably means they're not nice. They think they're nice, and they think it's nice to be mean to people who don't think like them.
Right.
But I think that's got to be just a huge part of it. Just a huge part of it. You want plot. I also think that part of the problem with the left is they've always had, Air America never had any right-wing callers or anything. It was always just soothing leftist messages. That Bush was sleeping with Condoleezza Rice, that he lied about the stuff the whole time, that Cheney was a pedophile, whatever it was. It was all like it was vicious, but there was never any hostility. And the left has always been terrible at talk radio from the 80s and 90s. They just can't do it. They're not good at it. They don't have it. They don't like this arguing. One, it's a rare one who understands the other side's worldview, whatever. So I think when suddenly everybody could communicate with each other, a lot of people didn't know how to just have conversations and debates because they're just not built for it. They weren't in the talk radio world where, like talk radio listeners, and most of the people listening to us now probably are right now. You're used to a Donnybrook. You're used to tough debate and bleep being thrown back and forth, and you can almost take it and still move on, and it's fine. And certainly, I was used to it. Like I wanted it, and I wanted to be in the fray. Right. But I think a lot of people should not be in the fray, and they don't get it. And I just think that they don't understand how to have a spicy or aggressive back and forth without being hurt or harmed by it, and without taking it personal, and it just builds it inside you because it's not generational. As a matter of fact, I think that Gen Z probably is better at it because people give each other so much crap on social media. But people are too soft.
But on the other hand, then they embrace Nick Fuentes and say that we're just being soft because we don't get his spicy humor.
No doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. There's an audit to be done on both sides, or all sides now, because I don't even know if it's a both sides thing anymore. There's too many sides. But yeah. My last thing is I had an Alice Shattuck moment today. I consider it an Alice Shattuck. It's not even a moment today. It's something a campaign I've been working on for a long time. You know how that guy parked next to me last year and he was like, too bad there's no room for me to get out of the car. I wish I had said something. And I still would like to shoot him dead. And there have been several times in my life where I haven't been ready for certain insults and things. And if two things come together, if I'm ready and I have the thing to say, and I can conjure up the cojones to say it, then I'm going to have my moment, the jerk store called moment. You know what that's from?
Seinfeld.
There we go, Alice. But I've been working on a case where I haven't been aggrieved yet, and I've been working on this case for a few years.
Okay. So you'll be ready for this one.
I'm so ready for this one. They have no shot.
Is this an Alice Shattuck moment because you are practicing it in the shower?
Not in the shower, where Alice practices her big speeches and arguments and debates. But, well, her husband takes pictures of her because this is the life she lives. But these are not consensual pictures. She doesn't want to be photographed. She's just trying to take a shower, but I can't believe she's a pretty lady in my house. So, okay, that's our problem for our shrink. Okay, so here's the deal, is that I was at the grocer's freezer today, where, by the way, my two main cashiers are gone now, including one supervisor. One's a supervisor. There's a produce heavy.
Wow.
They're gone. These are the ones I thought were sisters. It got creepy. So anyway, that does matter. So I'm picking up a whole bunch of stuff from your side of the car because you like to leave treat your side of the
your empties there.
Well, my empties and also all your trash. The little divot that's the door handle has 1,000 different wrappers in it, so I clean that out and all of those things. And so I play this scenario in my head, and I bet you do too. Actually, this is not just me. And I think to myself, what if the dude, the 17-year-old, says, "Hey, you can't dump all this stuff in your garbage barrel," like I do. You know, I have a handful of stuff sometimes that I throw right in their trash. And so I've got a speech ready, and I've got a debate ready. I'm ready to go to war with these people.
Okay.
And I think you'd agree with it because you're a statistics and numbers person. My feeling, as I take my stand as a 52-year-old man versus the high school sophomore that says, hey, you're not allowed to dump a load of stuff there, is, okay, you get your supervisor and or RDT or whoever the new RDT is, and you let them know that because I've cost you 11 more cents of trash removal, you've lost $700 per week. And then the high school kid is mouth agape. The supervisor falls to his knees. The store general manager panics, is sweating, starts to have signs of a cardiac arrest. This is so big to him. They fly in the corporate board. Corporate board apologizes to me. The world slowly, one market basket attendant who's left after another, the A-teamers. I'm celebrated like a hero because I've made the point that, you know what, it's fine if I throw my little empties that Alice has to drink in the car into your trash. It's fine because I spent a lot of money here. And you know what? Do the economics of it, my young man. Because, yeah, your trash might be a loss leader, but it's a bigger loss leader than you could ever understand. And if people like me leave, you son of a bitch, then you are going to close. The store will close. You will be out of a teenage job. You will have to turn tricks with other men on Cape Cod somewhere to make a living because there's going to be no jobs. Old people here will die. There'll be a food desert because I'm doing something that's helping, and all I'm doing is using your trash for 1 second. Now, the big problem with this is
nobody's going to stop you for that.
Nobody has stopped me as yet. I look around. I'm ready. I have my scroll ready. I'm glad you said that, young man. Could you please use the PA and gather the senior staff over here, please? But nothing. But I did think that would be something that you would appreciate. Just the value cost thing of that. I think you can get revved up on that. That could be an Alice shower debate.
Yeah, I mean, I do have debates in my head with people in the shower.
Yes.
Well, and along those lines. I'm not sure if I have that one exactly, but
let's hope I get stopped.
I hope so.
You can't do that, sir. Aha. Perfect. Guess what, young man? My defining moment is about to happen.
They're going to be like, sir, is this the gentleman in the who's in the break room? Photos in the break room is look out for him because he's being creepy around the cashiers. A bunch of them had to transfer to different stores.
Sir, we're not going to confront you about the trash you're bringing, okay?
Just please leave.
Please leave. Please just transact. You smell like booze. You're the fattest person in the store. You're bringing morale down by just being here. Please transact and leave. You know what? Just take the stuff and just please leave. All right, ready? Did we even start the show?
Yeah, we had a great show. And
how was I?
You were great. You were great as usual. I mean, I'm just happy that I was here for it, because I could have missed it today. Should I tell people what happened today?
Go ahead, please. I don't. Oh, here's Alice's big bit.
Because it's not a bit. Well, I got stuck in the driveway this morning, and I was.
It was snowy, and
I missed my train.
She backed the car into the only field part of our driveway. It
slipped, and then you backed it into a tree.
No, that's not true.
Anyway, I called you to help rescue me. I missed my train. I was like, whatever, I'll just work from home. So then I worked from home. And then because I was supposed to be on the train, I was getting alerts from the train. So I was supposed to be on my way home today, on the train, which normally gets in at 6:08. And I received this message at 6:29 p.m. As of 6:26 p.m., your train is stopped south of Woburn due to a local municipal services hold on the tracks ahead.
So whoa, that's rough.
Local municipal officials and Amtrak personnel are dedicating their efforts to clearing the tracks and resuming service as soon as possible. A delay of up to approximately 2 hours is anticipated.
Jesus.
So imagine I could be right now sitting on the tracks south of Woburn and not having this show with you.
By the way, what's this nonsense? Imagine that sitting on a train. You'd be oddly comfortable. You got to find the cafe car if that happens.
Oh, I bet the cafe car
By the
was
way,
hopping.
and also, I want to talk about classism here because south of Woburn has a name.
Well, the train doesn't stop there. I think they mean like south of the Woburn stop.
Mm-hmm. I think that they're covering up for Winchester. All right, ready?
I'm ready.
Holy God, it's 1,000 messages. Alice, why did we cut on the cutting room floor, leave my market basket stuff and your train stuff?
Well, I think people are happy I'm here. And I'm not on a train south of Woburn.
Hey guys, Andy in Cambridge,
Hey,
5
Andy.
minutes east of Phoenix Landing, and Tom's ranting about people posting on Facebook about how long it's been since they had a drink, and so I figured I'd chime in. And
Here we go.
if it's 4:42 in the morning here, listening on the podcast,
Here we
and
go.
it's been about 5 or maybe 6 hours since I had my last drink.
Here we go, Andy.
Cheers.
Cheers. Like, what does the coin look like for that?
30.
Is there a 5-hour coin?
I mean, every milestone counts, I guess.
Yeah. No, I've got at any one time I have a bunch of people pausing or stopping drinking or trying to switch it up. And as you get older, you do more stuff because new stuff hurts when you get older. And you're like, wait a second. I used to not feel. When I was 25, I could like jump from my feet onto my knees on pavement. You don't feel your knees generally until then you're in your 30s. You're like, wow, knees hurt. Stuff hurts anyway. So yeah, I hear you, Barker. No problem with that, Andy. And plus, if you're in Central Square, come on. Oh my God, I don't know what's left there, but I hope the People's Republic is there. I hope the Plowing Stars is there. We know the Phoenix is there. The field is gone. Tragic. That other one that has the upstairs and down. Oh, nobody cares. Okay, here we go.
Hey, Billy from Manchester.
Hey, Billy.
You know, Tom claims he was an editor. Can you imagine being
Yeah.
on the other side of that and having him edit some of your work? Not enough pudding gargles here. Not enough annoying kids walking in and disrupting things while listeners are trying to hear what's
know.
actually going on.
I know.
No annoying wives. Not enough annoying
know.
wives here interjecting when they shouldn't be.
Yep.
Not enough ums and ahs, not enough coughs, not enough cans opening, not enough this, not enough dogs
Those are all gnat sounds, Billy.
peeing everywhere, whatever's going on.
Yeah.
Not enough asbestos falling. Oh God, can you imagine?
I think this house is pre-asbestos. I think we're we're a lead house.
We're not going to check.
Yeah, we're a lead house. We're not an asbestos house. But I was never an editor of podcasts. And also I believe that we've been upfront about the failings, shortcomings of this podcast.
Hi, Steve from Merrimack.
Hey, Steve.
Your reading of the review of Olivia Nuzzi's book this morning was very funny. And I reached out to my brother who works in publishing, and I just asked him, the reviews of this book are so bad. Do you think this book is review proof? And my brother, he's been working in that industry a long time, always in publicity. He got back. He's like, I'm mystified by who the book is for. What's the audience for this book? I mean, who is going to buy this piece of crap? But, and the other thing, too, is I have to be candid. Olivia Nuzzi, yes, she's a whore.
Correct.
She's a horrible human being.
Yeah.
But RFK Jr. is worse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is just a piece of shit. And he humiliates his wife, who, Cheryl seems like a really nice person.
She does.
Who doesn't deserve to be dragged into this crap. Ugh, he sucks.
Well, didn't he already drive one wife to suicide?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know.
Can we just say something?
That does perplex me a little bit when people are like, oh, I won't vote for Trump because, the character issues. But, then they really like RFK Jr. And I know a bunch of people like that. Generally sort of the independent voter crunchy types who like they won't vote for Trump because that's just like too far and he's too horrible. But like actually on the merits, on most of like the moral issues, like RFK Jr. is just as bad as Trump.
Well, yeah, the RFK Jr., you know, we would have said 20 years ago that he's a Kennedy. That's all you have to know. And all the character flaws are built into Kennedys. They're like that. They're not just like drunk and high, which they are, but they feel entitled to everything. They're elitists and they take everything, which is interesting because Olivia Nuzzi is also a Kennedy. She's also the same. She should be part of the family. They should be married. And so is this kid.
Everyone like involved in politics are all sociopaths, I think sometimes, which is why I'm not like too hung up on the moral qualifications of political candidates for stuff.
Correct.
They all are awful.
Alice, I'm just going to read to you a real quick article. Starts out like this. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Who is Dickens?
Mm-hmm.
It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair.
Jesus.
Only 500 more pages to go. But can you see a pattern, Alice? Can you see the pattern?
I don't get it. Do you?
I think it's referencing how long a reading you did yesterday.
Yeah. No, I was, believe me, after
The chat had some complaints.
after we got about
They
20,
were longing for the concierge stories.
after we got 26 minutes in, I realized that I was running out of runway here and hadn't quite gotten to the point. But what is that from? It was Best of Times, Worst of Times. Is that Dickens?
Tale of Two Cities?
Is that Dickens?
I think so. Yeah.
Or is that Yeats? Keats?
No. I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Duh.
Hey, Billy from Manchester,
Hey,
third
Billy.
time here. I was wrong. I am not the undisputed heart and soul of this four-person show. It's Tim and Canton. I mean,
Great.
he's the best, and I'm giving him all the
Wow.
accolades he deserves. Now that Kirk has quit, he should be full-time on this. He should be maybe a third chair. I don't know, but
He can
we
have my
definitely
spot.
need more Tim and Canton. And I am not related to Stephen Gloucester.
By the way, that tells a little bit more. So Billy has died in the world KMS. Timmy Canton is KMS royalty. He's a made man. You cannot touch him. I think we're putting it together here. But I would love Tim to do a show. My God. Be fantastic. Or at least more chats. But Tim, you give me some of these guys. Tim and Canton. I'll take Billy. Couple more. Steve and Merrimack. Certainly. I'm just saying the guys who I think won't be especially good like on air. And Tim is a good nihilist too. He's the guy. Yeah. No.
Dr. Cheswick's got good messages.
He is good, but he's good with messages. I don't know if he's good on who knows? Can I just say something about Andy in Cambridge?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the naming convention that I've demanded now for 4 years has been largely ignored. Andy in Cambridge says, listen to this. It says, Andy in Cambridge, 5 minutes east of the Phoenix Landing, and then his email. Like, that is naming god dang convention. Good for you.
Hey guys, Andy in Cambridge, 5 minutes east of Phoenix Landing again.
Wait, hold on. 5 minutes east means Kendall Square. So how far east are you, Andy? You like
5 minutes east.
5 minutes east. Is that driving? If you're 5 minutes east, you could be in Boston. Oh, I need more precise coordinates.
I guess I'm like 2 podcasts behind, but Michael Douglas's chick is not Scottish. She's Welsh. Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Welsh.
Okay.
Not Scottish. Cheers.
Oh, in Welsh. I mean, all we have to do is say Catatonia, the band Catatonia. Look up, if you don't know Catatonia, listen to Road Rage. I think they're Welsh or Scottish. Listen to her accent. Oof. Yeah, Zeta-Jones, she had, when she was the world champion of Hollywood Hotness, she was
Like Mask of Zorro era was
that
the
was
peak, yeah.
Yeah, but she had about 2 years in there. I mean, you can't, we can't all be as beautiful as Alice Shattuck year after year.
That's not.
Hey, Billy from Manchester. I was totally shocked today to hear that Tom worked in a hotel. Never heard that before. Would love to hear more. That's about as shocking as Tom not realizing there was Never Fail Fudge.
What's Never Fail Fudge?
I have gotten so much feedback on this. We've had Instagram messages on this. Trish has talked about it. Belly from Manchester's talking about it. The Never Fail Fudge is the recipe on the package, on the fluff jar.
Oh, yeah. No.
Everybody's talked about this. Apparently, I tapped into something.
Jar for
recipes.
Recipe on the side of a fluff. I would love to hear more of these hotel years. It'd be great if there are some. Thanks.
Yeah, my brother brought one up the other day. Rocky Marciano's grandson came at me, drunk and bloodied, in a function room that I was cleaning up, and I had to encrypt my phone call to security, where my brother worked. My brother was in security. I'm like, "Hi, how you doing? I just want to let you know a gentleman is here right now, in the room with me, and so he's here, and we're talking right now, and like trying to this is like 1 a.m, you know." So finally came in, and the kid's name was Rocky Marciano, and he was bloodied. He'd had a rough night. The rest of the story is very interesting. Anyway, the story ends like this. It de-escalated by invoking Rocky's mother worrying about him in the ballroom, and so he breaks down there, and brothers carry him away, and that was it. But I was going to whip his ass off.
I believe you.
Oh, it's not the right one, is it?
Splash in the chat, by the way, says a lot of people read the jar and asks if you're actually from Massachusetts. Apparently, everybody knows about Never Fail Fudge.
Let me tell you one thing, Splash. This is a life changer for me. I read the.
Cheswick says you are too busy eating the fluff with a ladle.
Depending.
Could you read, actually?
What do you mean could read? I'm just a high kid. I will say one thing that I did get. I bought chicken rondelets in the early 80s. Chicken rondelets were these little chicken patties that were like by whatever, but they had little cheese in them, and it came with a recipe on the side for cheese sauce, like the drippy kind, to make it yourself. It was amazing. I was misled, of course. It was amazing. But I had to buy Carnation evaporated milk because I'm sure there was a brand tie-in with them. Wrong thing to buy. All I needed was cheddar and heavy cream. Chicken rondelets screwed me, but chicken rondelets were great, Ellis.
Okay. Thank you so much for affirming that there is a recipe for Never Fail Fudge on the side of the fluff jar. Appreciate all you guys. Have a great night.
I'm right on top of the Tumblers.